Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. Breaking tonight, two major stories about information and who gets to control it. The World Health Organization is essentially now asking for a do-over on its initial report about the origins of the coronavirus. Officials are now conceding that some of the information concerning China might not have been accurate. This, as we just learned, Los Angeles County, California is reinstating its mask mandate indoors starting Saturday at midnight, no matter your vaccination status. But we begin with the Biden administration admitting today that it is telling Facebook about social media posts it considers misinformation. Again, the Biden administration is flagging posts that it thinks Facebook should block. The reason? They say the misinformation about the coronavirus vaccine is the biggest cause of low vaccination rates in some areas and with some groups. We'll talk to Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley about all of this in just a moment. All of this occurs as President Biden welcomes German Chancellor Angela Merkel to the White House as the two countries seek to smooth over relations strained under the Trump administration. White House correspondent Peter Ducey begins our coverage tonight live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, and fresh out of that press conference with the president and the German chancellor, where the president updated what we've been hearing from the administration about why exactly they think people are taking to the streets chanting Libertad in Cuba. A few days ago, we were told by the Biden administration's State Department they were just upset because of rising COVID cases down in Cuba. Now, the president is speaking out about the perils of communism instead.
Communism is a failed system, universally failed system. And I don't see socialism as a very useful substitute, but that's another story.
The president at that press event also called Cuba a failed state. He says if he knew that vaccinations could be delivered directly to the people and not to the communist regime, he would send enough or as many as they need. And vaccinations here at home continue to stymie the administration. They are stuck. The numbers of people getting vaccinated every day are not on the pace that the administration wants, and so now they are taking to Facebook to fix it.
As President Biden meets with the German chancellor, focused on foreign policy,
She's been in the Oval Office many times.
officials at the White House are focused on you.
We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation.
That's right. Biden administration officials are combing through Facebook, looking for posts they think are disinformation, then notifying Facebook when they find something they don't like. Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican, tweets, so now the Biden administration is using Facebook to impose its COVID-19 speech code. The social media platforms are increasingly just arms of the federal government and the Biden White House. Somewhere at the White House, officials already have a list.
There's about 12 people who are producing 65% of anti-vaccine misinformation on social media platforms. All of them remain active on Facebook, despite some even being banned on other platforms, including Facebook, ones that Facebook owns.
The Surgeon General is getting involved.
Today, I issued a Surgeon General's advisory on the dangers of health misinformation.
Republican Senator Tom Cotton's problem is, quote, the White House wants to censor misinformation on Facebook, while President Biden claims that voter ID laws are worse than Jim Crow.
There is disinformation that is coming from bad actors. But what is also important to point out is that much of the misinformation that is circulating online is often coming from individuals who don't have bad intentions.
At this point, there may only be one way to avoid having the White House call Silicon Valley about your Facebook posts. Just don't post.
One of the things we have said, again, is that when it comes to misinformation, not sharing is caring, unlike what many of our moms taught us earlier in life.
This revelation or this announcement that the Biden administration, the federal government, are going to be monitoring communications that Americans might think are private when they post them comes the same day as a visit from a German chancellor who half a decade ago was told, or close to a decade ago, I should say, was told by the by the Obama-Biden administration that the NSA had been monitoring her phone calls. It does not seem like there are any lingering hard feelings, though. Today, they are about to sit down for dinner. On the guest list, Hillary Clinton. Brett?
Interesting. Peter Ducey live on the North Lawn. Peter, thank you.